What's up? Welcome to the Fink about Prosparity podcast. Today we got Ashlyn and Colin Fink. We're both sitting here in our office and we're just going to be talking about some shit, maybe serious, maybe a little comedic relief scattered about. And Ashlyn, you want to start us off with our first topic?
Yeah, so I'm Ashlyn. My husband here is Colin, who did that lovely intro for us. And honestly, I'm just trying to talk some real shit, like life type shit. Like, how you feeling about life, Colin? Like, what do you think about work and just kind of the outlook on life? Like, I feel like everybody just has to work a 9 to 5, and a lot of people settle for that. And I kind of don't want to settle for that. What do you kind of think about that? Just that whole situation. I see it all the time. I see it all the time on the internet and lots of memes about working the 9 to 5s and literally just how we all kind of settle for it.
I work for the culture, I want to be
You work for the
shitting next to people and hanging out. We gotta do what we gotta do. Make a little bit of bread. Life is like a shit sandwich, Ashlyn. The more bread you got, the less shit you gotta eat.
That is true. That is true.
And you don't have to work a 9 to 5. See, like I work a 7 to 4. How about that?
That's pretty good. I mean, that is true. That is true. And I feel like you're making the best of it. Like, we do need to make the bread. Everybody needs food and housing.
Bringing home the bacon.
And bringing home the bacon. And it's not like everything everybody wants to do. Nobody really wants to do it, but we all kind of just got to do it so
working
we can.
For the man, everybody gotta work for the man until they start working for themselves, And if you think about it like you're working for yourself, it feels a lot better.
That's true. That is true.
I'm lining my pockets, making my boss rich, but
also making yourself rich and prosperous in the process.
Well, yeah, you gotta learn things from your job, and you get to talk to cool people, and it's not always bad. There are bad days for sure. I got my balls caught in the laminator at work the other day.
Oh,
not
yeah.
the best thing, but can't
keep moving on.
Can't avoid it. It's looking too tasty. You gotta laminate some stuff. Oh, slips in. You never know.
How does that happen?
Well, it's a mistake for sure.
Yeah, okay.
I wasn't doing anything weird. And, accidents happen. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay, all right. Maybe we... Let's change that up a little bit. Maybe not talk about that. But I feel like your outlook on 9 to 5s is pretty good. Like, we're all just trying to live our best life, and we're making with what we got. And if we got it, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Well, yeah, it depends, I suppose. I wouldn't want to, work a 9 to 5 for not so much money. But if you can get yourself into a good gig, learn your industry a little bit.
Make some good money.
Make decent money, and that's a good thing.
It's a good gig.
Better than being homeless.
That's true. I wouldn't want to be homeless either. I don't know. What do you think about...
Shout out to all my homeless folks out there.
Honestly, shout out to those guys on YouTube that
you fucking broke free, man. I don't know how you escaped the Matrix, but
they did. Do you think there's any... No, that's a controversial question. Do you think there's any happy homeless people?
Oh yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean every time they shoot up, I'm sure they're
okay. I mean, genuinely happy.
Money can't buy happiness, but money will buy some drugs.
Okay, well, maybe without drugs.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there are. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't there be?
Okay, all right. Okay.
I mean, they don't have to go to work. They don't have to follow any rules. They don't have to, they can shit on the sidewalk, and that's all good for them.
It's true. That's true. I mean, but they don't have toilet paper, though.
I'm sure they find something.
That's true. Really?
I mean, when you boil it down, people really have a few basic needs, like food and water and something like shelter. You can't freeze to death, but if it's warm outside, I'm sure they're hanging out, having fun.
That's That's true. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they just kind of got free reign.
They fuck with people too. I mean, I'm sure it'd be funny to be a homeless person and just fuck with people.
Yo, give me $1.
Give me $1.
I need $1 right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, they gotta make a living somehow.
That's true.
Panhandling, it's not the worst thing in the world. They could be stealing. They probably do.
They probably be doing that.
They definitely do.
I've seen it myself in Milwaukee a couple times.
Hell yeah.
Workers don't get paid enough to stop these people from stealing and running out across the street.
Nah, man, they just work in their 9-to-5s.
That's true. They're just trying to make a buck, dude. We're all really just trying to make a buck here. I think the concept of money is kind of just sad in general.
Well, currency has been a thing before money. People will trade stuff.
Yeah, trade is cool.
Sure, but it's the same concept as currency.
Oops. Yeah, it is, but like I can trade you, like, here, I'll give you my wooden spoon, you give me that t-shirt, you know?
Right, yeah.
Or, you know, I'll give you my lawnmower and you give me that nice shack over there that I can live in.
Yeah, but I don't know. When I think of currency, I think of more like, I'll trade you this fucking deer for your butter. You got a cow, I got a chicken, I'll give you milk and you give me an egg. How about it?
That's a pretty good trade. It ain't like that no more. It ain't like that anymore, though.
Nah, now we buy everything from a factory. It's all good.
And it's
we
filled
still
with
get it.
stuff. Dude, that's another thing. They just be filling our food here in the United States with stuff.
Yeah, people, if they gotta feed everybody, if they couldn't, do that. Like, I don't know, I'm like, I definitely don't like genetically modified stuff, but we've been genetically modifying everything that humans have touched.
That's
since
like corn?
the beginning of us cultivating things or raising things. We have been, selective evolution, bro.
Dude, have you seen, like, what corn really looked like before we genetically modified it to make, like,
it's everything
what
now.
is now?
It's like corn, wheat, all
Everything.
the different grains.
Or bananas, bro.
Bananas.
A lemon isn't even, like, a regular fucking fruit. Like, it's just, like, when life gives you lemons, dude, is a lie. Because life didn't give us lemons. We fucking made lemons from, like, a citron and some other fucking... bitter orange is a lemon.
Huh. Bitter orange, yes. Okay.
And life doesn't actually give you lemons. We made lemons.
Yeah, well, when life gives you lemons, you make some other type of modified organism that you can consume.
That's true.
But alright, anybody watching the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight tonight?
Oh shit, that's coming up soon. It's 5:35.
Yeah.
Dude, are you actually gonna watch that?
Yeah, I fucking want to watch that.
Dude.
I think it's kind of crazy what's going on, but I hope that Mike Tyson wins.
I think the world hopes that Mike Tyson wins.
Yeah.
I hope that Mike Tyson wins. I ain't even into that much, but fuck Jake Paul.
Yeah, man, they both had their heydays, and famous people always get into some weird situations. We'll say Mike Tyson bit off a dude's ear. Jake Paul, or was it his brother that?
It was his brother that found the dead guy in the forest.
Yeah, but same thing. They're just famous people trying to get attention, so.
It worked.
Yeah, and it's gonna work tonight, too.
Well, it's definitely working. They're advertising the shit out of it, and it's like, I see so much Mike Tyson shit on social media right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's promoted the hell out of his weed brand.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had a weed brand until...
We've seen it multiple times.
We've seen it?
In Colorado, we saw Tyson.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's always had the weed brand.
You're
not
right.
always, but for a long time. And, yeah, I think that's really cool. I think that it could help a lot of people who play sports. But, I don't know. I think the laws around weed are pretty crazy.
That is true.
Well, so where we're at right now in the good old state of Wisconsin, it's not quite legal here, so you could get arrested go to jail, depending how much you have and what kind of sentencing you get. They could ship you off to a federal prison in Colorado or California or Minnesota or Michigan with all this
All the
legal
legal
weed,
states, yeah.
but they'll send you to a federal prison to serve time for
Breaking the law in
breaking the law in a different state. But I don't know how the government works exactly. I'm not super into politics, but
election just passed.
Yeah, I think that we had an interesting run. That's for sure. I didn't vote, and I don't think I'll ever vote because I don't really think that it's a good outlet for giving us a choice. I think it's a good illusion of choice.
I agree.
So, I don't know. I just really get upset when I see people fighting or shunning other people based on their political views.
That's true. You can still be friends with people when you don't have the same views. And I've seen it, like, especially, like, as soon as Trump got elected, people just, like,
flipping shit.
Yeah, like, eating each other alive, like,
it's someone. Man, we're all on the same team here.
Like, we all just kind of want the same thing. Like, when it comes down to it, we all just want to live happy lives and not have to worry about money and not have a box of cereal be $10.
Yeah, but I don't know how much the president really determines.
No, I don't really think he has anything to do with it.
I don't know. I'll never ever say that I think Joe Biden was a very good president, but it kind of showed me that it doesn't really matter who the fucking president is. You could have some in there, and it's probably gonna be just fine.
Yeah, straight up.
Checks and balances, man.
We didn't go into World War III, and he literally couldn't speak English clearly. So you got a good point. I really don't think that the president really could change much, and people are freaking out because they think that Trump is gonna ruin everything, but
do crazy shit.
But and like just as before, everybody thought Joe Biden was gonna ruin everything, and granted, like there's been like slight changes, like the economy isn't doing so hot, but like I'm still out here living. I still got the same shit. I'm still making money. I still just, when it comes down to it, I still just gotta survive, and I'm still doing fine.
Yeah, you just gotta keep going when you're 9 to 5, making that money, bro.
You do. Gotta work up the corporate ladder, man.
You gotta make money, you gotta buy a house. I mean, it's all things that people tell you. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of that's my intention right now, but
yeah,
I could see doing other things for sure. I think that a big one is the van life, people going out of their way and
I could do that.
Breaking some norms, which I think is a good thing. And if you're comfortable and you can feed yourself and you have whatever income you can make off of YouTubes and social medias, I think that I am all for it.
I agree.
That's awesome. And I don't know, I have some family that I like to see all the time, and I got a bunch of shit that I like to have, so
yeah,
it's hard to fit everything, or at least in my opinion. And for me, I couldn't see myself moving all my plants into a van.
That's true. Or just like
I think I could have a big nice computer set up in my van.
Or like, what about like Wi-Fi in a van? Like,
well, there's all sorts of shit for that,
like
Verizon.
Like you can do it, like moving constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Can you still get like good internet, like for gaming?
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, you could do the Starlink through too.
Oh, the fucking
Elon Musk Wi-Fi.
Elon Musk shit.
I mean, I'm not sure exactly how all that works.
I don't know either.
I've never tried it or known anybody that's done it, but I've heard of it.
I've definitely heard of it.
Satellites and shit that beam down that good Wi-Fi, I guess.
That dude's doing a lot. He's done a lot. Yeah. And I don't know if it's all for good or not, but fuck a Cybertruck.
Yeah, Cybertruck's a little bit ugly to me, but That's my opinion, you know. Maybe I'm just jealous I can't afford that shit. But
I still, if I had if I had that much money to buy a Cybertruck, however much it costs, I don't know, 100K.
I'd just buy a Kia.
Yeah, I'd buy a Kia too, honestly. I'd buy a nice ass Kia or like, I don't.
There's other electric vehicles too, if that's what you're into.
I just don't want electric vehicles.
But that's a little controversial subject too, because I think that, you know, in the future, sure, I think electric vehicles could be a lot better for our environment.
Yeah.
The reusability of a lot of the stuff. There's like a lot less moving parts. But how it sits now, I just don't think we have the infrastructure for that to be like a viable option yet.
I don't even think it would ever happen because of like oil industries and like
yeah, for sure.
literally put them out of business, and
they could still use it to generate the electricity for the cars.
Oil?
Yeah, they have like petroleum electric plants.
Oh.
So you could just turn the oil into electricity to run your car. But the thing about the electric cars that I dislike is anywhere that they have electric cars, or not where they have electric cars. Where they have electric cars is fine. You know, USA has electric cars. Every first world country does. But where they're like mining the resources, like the lithium, I've heard is a huge deal. It's like terrible for the environment, and all the people involved are usually in like not so great situations, and they're working really hard to get this resource, and it's like really toxic, and it brings along with it all sorts of other toxic stuff.
What country?
And it really hurts.
Or continent? Are they mining it? Where are they mining it?
I heard actually that there's huge lithium deposits underneath Yellowstone.
Oh God!
And they're like,
I hope they don't touch that.
Yeah, they're trying to get someone to tap into that, which would be okay for America. I mean, that would definitely boost our economy a little bit, but it just is so shitty. I mean, I was talking to a coworker about it the other day. That's how I heard about it. And he said something like, I think it would be a good thing as long as the companies who are doing it and getting that resource and making the money also have to be held responsible for the environmental impacts.
That's true.
Like the water that's going out of that type of deal. Because I know, I'm not sure exact names of the countries and stuff, but like it's, you know, third world countries where they have these big like aquifers or some shit, like underground liquid that they like pump to the surface, and then they like let it dry, and then they go in and scoop it out like a salt mine or some shit.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, and so it's like terrible for the environment, it's terrible for all the people involved, it's like wreaking havoc.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, and then, so that's like the beginning of the battery, you know, is not so good when they're making it. And then what happens when you're done with it, too? They're just a big lump of shit that, what do you do with that? You bring it to the dump and bury it? You
bury it back in?
Put it in a landfill or some shit? Like, I don't know. You can just throw away your motor. You can take the gas out and keep using the gas. But if your car breaks down, you know, it's just metal. You can probably even recycle it a whole lot better.
You could, yeah. You definitely could. You scrap it.
And I'm not sure. I'm sure they have recycling stuff for batteries. I mean, it would be stupid if they didn't.
They do. Like, you're not supposed to throw away a battery in, like, regular trash.
Right, but even just these, like, huge batteries that they're using to power these cars is just, like, gotta be so much, like, electric waste.
Yeah, where the fuck does that shit go?
Yeah, I mean, that's just, like, the disposable vapes. I think the
Yeah,
disposable vapes are like crazy because people are just throwing away rechargeable batteries all the time.
that's true. And like you're not supposed to, like it says like on a lot of vapes, it has like the trash can with
Your
the X around
warning,
it. Like you're
yeah.
not supposed to throw it out. And it's like, okay, well, where the fuck am I supposed to put it? And,
Where's
like,
everybody? I don't think anybody listens to that.
no, I
Everybody
don't
just
think.
throws them away.
I don't know if there's one person, at least nobody that I know, has like properly disposed of a disposable vape. Like where
Right, and they call it disposable, but they're like rechargeable batteries. Like, why are we throwing away all these
that's true.
rechargeable batteries? Like, you can't. I don't know. I definitely do a little bit of vaping myself, but I just go with the pod system.
I think the rechargeable one, like when it comes to pod systems, I definitely think it's better, and I do think that it's cheaper.
Well, yeah, but then you're still throwing away the pod. It's
Or,
like
I mean, at least it's not a battery.
I suppose.
It's
but,
still plastic.
But eventually the pod system breaks or chips or cracks or
And you gotta
doesn't
get a
work,
new
and you
one.
throw that way, throw that away anyway. And the pod system just kind of reminds me of like the Keurig model.
Dude, the Keurig.
Where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna sell you a bunch of disposable plastic, and you have to use 2 or 3 or 5 every day to make 1 cup of coffee.
Putting like boiling hot water through hot plastic.
Well, yeah.
And you're drinking it. It's terrible.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, I mean, people use plastic cups for hot water all the time. Plastic bowls for soup. It doesn't.
That's true.
Like, plastic is leaching into all of us all the time. Like
Yeah,
the number one way we store water is in plastic.
That's true.
The pipes that we get are made out of plastic.
PVC pipes.
And you know what goes through those PVC or PEX?
PEX
There's
PVC,
all
yeah.
sorts
There's all
of
type of
plastic
pipes.
tubing that they're using for home water supplies, and you have a hot water heater with the hot water going through the hot plastic pipe.
It is true. It's kind of inevitable, I guess.
It's in everything unless you're going down to the river, and even then there's probably like
There's
microplastics.
Oh yeah, there's shit in there.
Litter and all this garbage. So I mean,
It's like
I don't know.
unavoidable, but I don't like a Keurig that much, dude. I'm not a fan of Keurigs.
Right.
I used to think when they first came out, like that shit was mind-boggling. I remember like my parents got like the first Keurig, and it was a weird shape with like a round head and a round body, and I was like, this is the coolest shit ever. I get a single serve coffee and I don't have to make a cup. Like that's awesome.
Right, you don't have to make a whole pot.
But yeah, I don't have to make a whole pot.
But that's the thing too, is that most coffee machines are made out of plastic too, so they're putting hot water through the plastic through the grounds. It's all plastic.
It is all plastic.
And then the Keurig is just funny because it's like disposable. You throw it away. You make 5 cups of coffee and you throw away a half a pound of plastic.
That's true. It's a lot of plastic.
Yeah, it's just the same as like disposable water bottles, like plastic water bottles that we get all our water in.
I stopped drinking out of those.
Yeah.
I used to like live by those, and then I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just humanity. I love this thing. I'm not sure where he got it, but my grandpa always says, God made humans because the world needed more plastic. That's the whole reason we're here, is to make plastic.
That's I feel like we were put on this earth to make plastic. I mean,
right.
Shit, we'd be doing a pretty good fucking job at that. Yeah, we definitely making a lot of fucking plastic.
There is no plastic before us. I'm sure maybe like rare instances of it forming and stuff, but we are the ones who primarily create plastic, which just doesn't go away ever.
It doesn't, no. It really doesn't.
Right. And I don't know, there's a famous, maybe famous Joe Rogan quote about the Earth is like a big living being, and if some alien creature from another dimension or space were to look at humanity on Earth, they would see like mold on the bread, and all we are is just mold on the bread. And that, I thought that was pretty deep.
That is pretty deep. Like you can't even see us. Like if you're from an alien's point of view, they say this big awesome blue planet.
Right. And even if you just see like satellite photos of our planet or whatever taken from space. You can like zoom in and it's like all green and nice and green and blue with the water and the land.
Then you
And
see
then
cities, which is the mold on the bread.
Yeah, if you zoom in and you can see like Los Angeles or New York City or Hong Kong or all these different places, and it's just like this is a growth. This is something. This is not good.
Seriously.
And so I don't know. I don't know how to keep a positive outlook about it, but it's sad to see what we're doing out here, and how we can say that certain things that we do are better than other things that we do, even though it's just I don't know. And I was in college. I was in an English class, and we would talk about these things called wicked problems. So there are these problems, right? Like like gas cars. How do we get rid of gas cars? Oh, well, we'll build electric ones. Oh, well, electric ones have their problems too. How do we get rid of those problems? Oh, well, we could recycle them. Well, the recycling causes its own problems. And it's just all these different things that are just so normal to us that we don't think of them as an issue. You know, I drive my car, it's no big deal. I throw something away, it's no big deal. But if we want to like help the earth, we'd have to start making some significant changes. Like, I don't know. And I think that one of the theories, I guess, is like overpopulation or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think that's there's a little bit of bullshit in there. I think that there definitely is enough resources. And
I think so too.
And eventually, you know, we'll modify the food that it will just be able to grow enough. You know, that's pretty much. I would say that's one of the reasons why we have so many people, is that we've just created such an abundance of resources. You know, food and gas and.
We really have.
We've been printing money. You just keep printing money.
That's not a good thing.
You know, it is what it is, and we just keep coming up with new shit every time something whack happens. We're like, oh my god, we're out of money. Alright, well, make some more. Like, oh my god, we're out of food. Alright, well, make some more. And it's just sad to see that, like, the younger generations are gonna, like, learn less and less about where our food actually comes from, and more about these factories, you know, that just churn out living beings, you know, like plants. Plants is one thing, but animals is another. There's like crazy shit going on with animals. You got thousands and thousands and thousands of chickens. You know, that's not natural.
No, it's not.
There's nothing cool about that.
It's sad. It's sad. Like, oh.
And it's like less and less people as time goes on are actually like producing their own food and being productive in that way. More people are just driving cars and working 9-to-5s instead of like coming up with different solutions to
solve problems,
to meet their needs. Because honestly, like I just said earlier, you know, humans really don't need much.
No.
We need food, we need water, we need to not freeze to death. You know, we don't. I would almost go to say we don't need shelter. But if you live somewhere it snows, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah, that's true. yeah, that's true.
You need at least a really good sleeping bag.
You do. And you also don't want to get like eaten alive by like mosquitoes and shit like that if you're outside.
Yeah,
like
snakes, bears.
But yeah, so that's why I feel like shelter. It could be a good thing. Like you could definitely sleep.
It's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, you could sleep out in the middle of nowhere and probably survive a couple nights. But if a bear finds you, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, unless you can run. Or you have a gun. Or if you have a gun, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
You had to take down a bear with some human ingenuity. Some tools, tie it up, stick it in the head with a stick. I don't know.
I've always wondered where, like, once my time is up, like, what, I won't be able to see what the world looks like 100 years from now, or 200 years from now, 300 years from now. Sure. And I'm, like, curious. And I'm always curious, like, once I'm gone, like, what is it going to be like? How much is really going to change? I mean, the world is constantly changing. We've been saying there's big change forever, and it always is. We're always developing.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, like, when I'm 100, whenever the hell I am, I'm 90, 100, hopefully, and I die, and another 100, 200 years go by, like, what's going on? And
I guess it depends on what you believe, because, you might believe that you could get reincarnated, and then you'll be living in that. Or you might believe that it's over for you and you'll never get to see it.
It's true.
Or, honestly...
maybe you can see that shit in heaven.
Right.
You can look down at the earth and be like, hey, look what they doing now. They stopped polluting the earth or something.
That's definitely a belief system.
They stopped making plastic.
Right. And then, I don't know, one of the things that I think about, too, and I don't know how far off humanity is from... but I think there is something in our consciousness that could be, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that maybe at some point in the distant future, or in the great span of time, everything is happening fast. And I think at some point we are gonna be able to lose our physical bodies, and we could, this is
literally be like higher beings.
Yeah,
we're just energy.
Right. This is sounding a little bit outlandish. We're going on a little bit of a tangent here.
No, I'm with you. I feel like we are all just energy. We're trapped in this body. I feel like we could be higher beings, like aliens, right. And shit probably are way, way more advanced than us.
Right. Maybe if you believe in that, but.
I do. I don't think we're the only thing in the universe.
I think at some point in the future, maybe. I have no way to know, no way to predict the future, and this may be almost an unholy thing to say, but I think eventually we'd be able to upload our consciousness into a different, or maybe even mechanical body. We could just live literally forever. I think it's,
dude, they've been doing that shit in movies for years.
Right, like the age of immortality, where we don't really need this body anymore. We could probably live in it for as long as we can, but then you could just, I don't know. It's crazy to see how far technology has come in the last, even just my lifespan, which is quite short. But from 1995 to now, you could have got a 2 megabyte USB stick, like a memory drive.
Yeah, now
and then now you can get a terabyte USB stick memory drive.
It's cheap now. It used to be expensive when we were younger.
Right. And now I think we're going and we're pushing the limits of this stuff. And I'm not gonna pretend like I know, but I think there's a certain amount of space that our brain has. I mean, obviously it's more of a living computer per se, and it's constantly growing and changing and forming these connections at the speed of light or whatever. You know, we're going we're thinking and talking right now is
I only got 2 terabytes of memory up here.
right. And it's not. It's probably a ridiculous amount.
Oh yeah.
It's probably billions of terabytes. Or trillions of terabytes. Or an unfathomable amount, but
we can't even put a mark on it.
Right, but even still, I think that as technology progresses, we might get to the point where we could just upload an entire person's memory onto a stick. And be like, oh yeah, this is my grandpa. You want to plug him in real quick? And
hey Grandpa, I missed you. I know I haven't plugged you in for a year. My bad, bro. I hope you've been doing all right.
It's a little dystopian, I suppose, but maybe it's possible. I don't know.
They should make a movie about that shit. Imagine, you got... It's you only talk to your grandpa whenever you want. You plug it in. Dude, you haven't plugged me in for a year. I haven't... How long has it been, man? What the fuck? You haven't been talking to me.
Right.
Why even put me on this stick?
Right, yeah. But then, I don't know. If that's the case and that we could upload our consciousness into something else, then what truly happens when we die? Is that, consciousness, is that energy just dissipated into space, and I don't know, maybe there's like
where does that shit go?
Yeah, or maybe,
where does that shit go? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
Or maybe there's like well, in like that in that sense, we just like get eaten by worms and we turn into dirt.
Yeah.
But you know, I do think there is more to our being than just our physical selves. Maybe
I think so
that's,
too. It's crazy when you think about it. We all have like these separate personalities, separate thoughts. We're all like our individual thing, and there's billions of us.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. It's like a crazy organism. Like when you think about it too, and like the Joe Rogan quote, like the mold on the bread or whatever. It's like we have more bacteria like on our eyes or like in our mouth than there are people.
Yeah, that's true.
So like I don't know, it'd be what the
fuck? Are
we
just a bacteria?
Right, what the fuck is that amoeba thinking about?
Dude, yeah, honestly.
And what happens when that amoeba dies? I don't fucking know.
Where does that amoeba go?
Could we upload an amoeba consciousness onto a stick?
Do amoebas even have consciousness?
I don't know.
I feel like, I don't know. Humans have such a high level of consciousness.
Right, we're able to like think and talk about this
and
shit.
Like understand language.
Yeah, language is a whole another
thing.
But I don't know, and one of the things too that I guess in the dystopian talk of things that we're doing here is like AI stuff. You know, like we're having all this AI things do stuff, and like at what point are we gonna make an AI that's like just as smart, if not smarter, than a human? I think that we're all like already there.
I think we're already there too.
I think that there are supercomputers and AI bots that know more than any person will ever dream of knowing.
And that's fucked up to know that, dude. That shit gonna take over.
Oh yeah.
They just a fucking robot.
I mean, it's all
they ain't got no soul and shit.
Right, it's all for our help, and I know there's been a lot of people in the AI industry that have spoken up about that they don't know how it's doing this stuff.
It's learning by
itself. Like, we didn't program it to know that language, but it figured it out.
like that's scary.
It is a little scary. And the other thing, too, that I saw recently is they are building or growing or, I don't know, synthesizing somehow these organic computers. They're like they're growing little brains and test tubes that are like doing.
Oh, you were telling me about that shit.
I don't know. I saw it. Maybe this was an AI generated video I saw.
That's true. Yeah. What the fuck?
But they had like these little brains in boxes, and they were, you know, not boxes, like petri dishes in a case or whatever. And they had like them linked up to an external computer, and they were like teaching these little things, these little brain goops, to like be things. Like there's like the brain goops were like being a butterfly in like a simulation.
What the fuck?
And I don't know. I guess we could talk about like simulation theory. I guess.
Dude, that sounds like some No Man's Sky type shit. Like you're. I don't know if you know, I don't want to spoil that shit, but
we're like all living in a dream, kind of. Or we might be the butterfly, and we are all just like a little petri dish of smush somewhere in some other dimension, all sent into here to do stuff. I don't know.
To make fucking plastic. To make plastic.
To make plastic. To work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fucked up. I think one of the more fucked up things I've seen about that is like the Rick and Morty episode, like Rob or Bob or something like that, like B Bob, and they like he lives his whole life as this guy Roy.
Oh yeah.
And he fucking lives an entire life, and then he just gets spit out of the game, and he's like, "Holy shit, where's my wife?"
Yeah.
Like maybe that's where we go when we die. We like wake up somewhere else. Or maybe we're just born again, or we live another life.
That's fucked.
It is fucked. It's crazy to think about and drive you mad if you think too hard.
Yeah, I know. You will. You go into a fucking, what's it called? Yeah, existential crisis.
And that's not
true.
what we're trying to promote here. We're just having fun.
We're just having fun. We're just
talking crazy. I don't know, and that's the thing too, is that like some people, I would say generally older people would hear us saying stuff like this and be like, "What the fuck? What the fuck are these kids on about? This fucking bullshit. You better fucking go to church and get on your knees for Jesus." It's like, all right, yeah, I do agree. I
think it's okay to wonder. Like, I still love God, still believe in Jesus, but I don't think there's anything bad about wondering.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, it all.
I feel like that's a human thing, is to wonder and kind of like just think out answers, but we can only go so far before going into existential crisis.
Right, and that's just like kind of the ugliness and the beauty of humanity is what we can think about, and that's how like certain people like Elon Musk or Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, they can fucking come up with these crazy ass ideas. Well, you know, maybe not now that they're rich and famous.
Yeah.
Not so crazy anymore, is it, to sell books on the internet? Or, oh my gosh, not so crazy anymore to have a company that sends money through the internet?
Dude, yeah.
It's like, oh my god, who's gonna use that? Oh my god, these guys are talking crazy. And then who knows? Maybe we'll be like at the forefront of.
Yeah.
Or maybe some of the stuff that we're saying that right now, even I am like, holy shit, that's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. And like, what if that?
Maybe this stuff
happens.
Yeah, maybe if this is how it really is.
I don't know. I definitely. There's like one thing I wanted to say when like I don't know what's gonna happen when I die, but like I felt like I've lived like all my life just like caring so much about what other people think and just caring so much. And then there was a quote from somebody who was like, nobody, like, well, I'll start with like, everybody we're here with now on their planet, like, those are your people, like, so love them. Like, they're not going to be around again.
Right.
They're going to die when you die. They may die before you die. They may die after you die.
We're just passing through.
We're just passing through, and we're all born here together. Like, this is our group of people, man. Love them.
Right.
And, like, try not to care how much we think. But, like, if somebody had said that, like, even if you're, like, a huge president, however many presidents there are now, like 50-something, I don't fucking know.
I think there's, like, 47.
47, close to 50. But even if you're a huge famous president, if you're a huge famous person, like, you'll still be forgotten. Like, even if, like, you're gonna be forgotten. So, like, why care so much?
Time is cruel.
Even if you're famous. Like, you'll be in the history books, but no one's constantly thinking about you. But even if you make, like, you're such big, you have such a big impact, like, you don't need to care so much. Just do what you want. Do what you love.
Right. Yeah, that's just crazy. I don't know. The thing I always think about, too, when I do start to sort of get self-conscious about things is, like, you know, everybody's going through this. Everybody's wondering if you remembered that weird thing that you did that one time way long ago.
Yeah.
Just the same way that you were wondering if that person remembers that weird thing that you did one time ago.
And the chances are,
nobody
probably
knows.
fucking not.
No,
Nobody fucking cares.
Nobody is that important that they're thinking about you all that time. And maybe it was, like, some crazy-ass shit that you did. Like, maybe you were super famous, and here and now and today we mention all these famous people who had these crazy ideas that ended up working out, and now we're like, oh my gosh, they're really cool. They've got so much money. Oh my gosh, we'll remember these guys forever. But will we? I don't
Probably
think
not.
so.
Like, in the grams, like, everything is just going to keep turning. Like, is it going to matter 2,000 years from now?
No.
Shit's going to keep on spinning around.
Yeah, and to us, in our short span of time on this planet, it's not going to matter after we're gone. Doesn't matter.
No.
It's over.
So just fucking live your shit. Do what you want to do.
Hell yeah.
Who cares? Nobody really cares.
Right. And
I think I'm starting to learn that.
Well, that's not to say that you should go out and rob a gas station.
No, yeah, no. That's definitely not.
Still be kind and all that good
I would
stuff.
say you still treat people kindly.
Right.
The group you're here with, they're also trying to do the same shit. Everybody else that's here in the same time period that you are, still treat everybody with respect.
Right.
But, like, don't be afraid to do the things you love. If you want to do it, do it.
Right.
If you don't want to work your 9 to 5 and you want to do something else, go do that something else.
Yeah, you gotta put yourself out there, that's for sure. And I mean, even just this episode 1 of our Think About Prosperity podcast, maybe this will make you think about something you would not have thought of before. So
make you think about something you haven't thought of before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. I think that people these days tend to think less and do more. And I think that if people were to think more and do less, then, we might put ourselves into a better situation where we're not ruining our planet so much.
I would agree with you. What do you say we end that there? We're going 47 minutes strong.
47 minutes strong? I mean, can we just do a little bonus bit here at the end?
Yeah.
Alright. So what's new? What's new with you? What you been on?
Bonus bit what I've been on?
Yeah.
Trying to find another corporate job because mine's getting taken by AI.
Hell yeah.
And offshore employees that will work my job for a lower wage.
Hell yeah.
But I got time.
Sounds good for your company.
Yeah, it sounds great for the company and not good for the people working there. So I've been searching for jobs and still working the same job. I'm granted that I'm lucky that I have the time. I'm grateful that I have the time.
Nice. And what kind of fun stuff have you been doing outside work?
I've been doing gaming and crocheting.
And
some good food.
How much time have you been putting into the podcast? And
I've been trying to put a lot of time into this fucking podcast shit and YouTube channel. I've been trying to find
setting up microphones.
That's what I've been doing. Honestly, like that's really what I've been doing is trying to figure out what microphone is the best. This AT2020 is pretty good, but it picks up my laptop fans. I got the AT2040. It picks up the laptop fans less, but you have to like speak directly into it, whereas the AT2020 you can be further away from it. So I've really just been trying to find the best for this because, I'm trying to do something new and do something that I've always wanted to do because I'm finally found the urge to do it. Got over my scaredy catness. So that's really what I've been doing is fucking with microphones and frustratedly fucking with microphones.
Not putting yourself out there. It's very commendable, and I look forward to doing this podcast again.
Yeah, me too, man. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys have a great evening, day, whatever it is.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Nice chatting.